Hi, RushRecap here. Today I am going to explain a movie called William. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Professor Julian stood before his class, his gaze steady, his voice resonating with a mix of authority and curiosity. The topic of the day was Neanderthals, a subject that had always fascinated him. These archaic humans, once considered brutish and primitive, had vanished from the earth tens of thousands of years ago. Yet their story was far from forgotten. Julian recounted how early scientists, influenced by Darwin's theories, had painted Neanderthals as lesser beings, judging their intelligence and humanity merely by their appearance. This view, though outdated, had shaped the narrative for centuries. But Julian had a different perspective. He saw the remnants of Neanderthals in modern humans, not just in the faint traces of their DNA but in the shared traits, habits, and instincts that persisted through millennia. The students listened intently, their eyes reflecting a mix of intrigue and skepticism. Julian loved these moments, where the seeds of curiosity were sown. As he delved deeper, he mentioned a groundbreaking discovery made by his boss years ago: the remains of a Neanderthal that were remarkably well preserved, not fossilized like the others. This discovery had opened a doorway to possibilities that science fiction could only dream of. The specimen was named William, after the scientist who first identified Neanderthals as a distinct species. As Julian spoke, he shared a radical idea, one that made the room buzz with unease and excitement. He proposed that it might be possible to bring a Neanderthal back to life using William's DNA. Later that evening, Julian's lecture continued to echo in Barbara's mind. She was an endocrinologist, attending the university for a series of interdisciplinary seminars. Something about the way Julian spoke, his passion and conviction, had sparked her interest. She decided to find him and discuss the feasibility of his theory. Barbara found Julian at a local restaurant, sitting alone with a book. She introduced herself, and their conversation flowed naturally. Julian explained the technical challenges of cloning a Neanderthal, from extracting viable DNA to finding a compatible host. Barbara, intrigued and slightly skeptical, pushed back with questions, challenging his assumptions and methods. Julian welcomed her curiosity. Their discussion shifted from science to philosophy: what it meant to recreate a being from the past, the ethical dilemmas, and the potential impact on humanity. Barbara found herself drawn not just to the idea but to Julian himself. There was something magnetic about his dedication. When Julian invited her to visit his lab, she hesitated for a moment before agreeing. The next day, Julian showed her two stone tools, one crafted by Homo sapiens and the other by Neanderthals. At first glance, they seemed identical, but Julian pointed out subtle differences in their craftsmanship. He believed these tools were more than artifacts; they were a glimpse into the minds of their creators. Barbara was captivated, and that night, their professional connection deepened into something personal. Their relationship grew quickly, fueled by shared ambition and mutual respect. Julian and Barbara began collaborating on research, publishing papers that explored the possibility of cloning William. Their work gained attention, both admiration and criticism, from the scientific community. As their professional partnership flourished, so did their personal bond. They moved in together, balancing late-night research sessions with moments of intimacy and laughter. However, their work was not without controversy. Ethical debates erupted, and funding dwindled as donors withdrew their support. Faced with mounting pressure, Barbara proposed a bold solution: she would carry the embryo herself. The decision was not easy. It required secrecy and immense courage. Julian and Barbara eloped, marrying in a modest ceremony that underscored their shared commitment. Months later, Barbara gave birth to a baby boy. The hospital staff whispered in hushed tones, noting the child's distinct features that unmistakably resembled those of a Neanderthal. Despite the stares and murmurs, Julian and Barbara were overjoyed. They named their son William, honoring the Neanderthal whose DNA had made this miracle possible. As William grew, his uniqueness became more apparent. He was intelligent and curious, but his physical appearance often drew unwanted attention. Barbara devoted herself to nurturing him, while Julian balanced his roles as a father and a scientist. Public opinion about their project shifted over time. What began as outrage softened into curiosity as people saw William not as a scientific anomaly but as a child. Julian decided to share their journey with the world, hosting a press conference to introduce William. He showed a video of the baby laughing and playing, melting hearts and silencing many critics. William's childhood was a blend of ordinary and extraordinary. He attended school, made friends, and explored the world with the wide-eyed wonder of any child. Yet, he faced challenges that set him apart. His rapid growth and unique metabolism required special attention, and his interactions with peers were often tinged with misunderstanding. One day, William met Sarah, a tutor hired to help him with his studies. Their first meeting was awkward. William struggled to understand metaphors and other nuances of language. But over time, Sarah's patience and kindness helped him thrive. She encouraged his strengths in mathematics and science, and together, they tackled the complexities of communication and expression. Julian, meanwhile, wrestled with his dual identity as a father and a scientist. He loved William deeply but often viewed him through the lens of his research. This tension strained his relationship with Barbara, who prioritized William's happiness over academic achievement. Their disagreements grew, eventually leading to their separation. Barbara moved to a new home with William, creating a space where he could grow without the weight of scientific expectations. As William entered adolescence, he began to navigate the complexities of identity and belonging. He excelled in some areas and struggled in others, much like any teenager. A pivotal moment came when he participated in a school play, discovering a passion for singing. This newfound love brought him joy and a sense of purpose, even as he grappled with the prejudice and misconceptions of those around him. One evening, William and Julian had a heated argument. Julian, frustrated by William's reluctance to follow a strict academic path, accused him of squandering his potential. William, in turn, accused Julian of valuing science over family. Their confrontation was intense, a clash of ideals and emotions that had been simmering for years. In a moment of rebellion, William decided to skip an important exam. He wandered the city, searching for answers to questions he couldn't yet articulate. His journey led him to a chance encounter with Godwin, the scientist who had discovered the original Neanderthal remains. They talked for hours, discussing the nature of humanity and the reasons behind the Neanderthals' extinction. Godwin shared her belief that storytelling and cooperation had given Homo sapiens an edge, but William wasn't convinced. He saw the simplicity in numbers and the inevitability of change. As the years passed, William continued to forge his path. His relationship with Sarah deepened, evolving into something more than friendship. She became his confidant and anchor, helping him navigate the challenges of being different in a world that often demanded conformity. One day, Julian invited William to attend a lecture, hoping to mend their fractured bond. During the session, William interrupted, challenging his father's narrative and accusing him of exploiting his life for academic gain. The room fell silent as the tension between them reached its peak. Their argument spilled into the hallway, where Julian, in a moment of anger, struck William. Shocked and hurt, William lashed out, accidentally injuring his father. The incident attracted attention, and whispers of "savage" spread through the crowd. Overwhelmed by shame and regret, William fled, disappearing into the night. The search for William was frantic, with Barbara and Sarah leading the effort. Days turned into weeks, and hope began to wane. Eventually, William was found, cornered by authorities who saw him as a threat rather than a victim. In a tragic turn of events, William's life was cut short, leaving those who loved him shattered. In the aftermath, Sarah visited the site where William's journey had begun. She carried a small child in her arms, a symbol of hope and continuity. William's story, though marked by loss, was also a testament to resilience and the enduring quest for understanding. His legacy lived on, a reminder of the delicate balance between ambition and ethics, and the shared humanity that connects us all. And so, the story of William, the bridge between the past and present, between what was and what could be, comes to a close. His life, though fleeting, leaves an indelible mark on the fabric of humanity. William was more than a scientific endeavor. He was a reminder of the complexities of life, the power of choices, and the delicate interplay between ethics and ambition. As we reflect on his journey, we're left with questions that linger in the shadows of our minds. What defines humanity? Is it our biology, our intellect, or our capacity for empathy? William's story urges us to look beyond the surface, to question what we accept as truth, and to confront the ethical dilemmas that come with progress. In the end, William's existence was both a triumph and a tragedy. But it's also a legacy, a call to action for us to seek understanding, to embrace our differences, and to approach the unknown with both curiosity and compassion. As we move forward, let his story remind us that science is not just about what we can do, but about what we should do. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story made you think, feel, or question, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to RushRecap for more thought-provoking stories. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep exploring the endless possibilities of our world.